Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sonny here, and look forward. And Resident Alien hits rom-com territory this week. As well, we open with 20 years earlier, where a teenage Darcy and a teenage Ben are at a party, and she reveals she really likes Ben, and she kisses him passionately. But before any of that can be addressed, Judy runs out saying someone called the cops and everybody has to run for it. So we jump forward to today. And Harry is having trouble with his girlfriend Heather because now that he's completely human, he doesn't find her alien form attractive and kind of disgusting. But he convinces her to go to her human guys, saying, that's how we parted, that's how we should reunite, and then everything seems pretty good. And the next day he calls Asha and Darcy. Seems Heather had brought the remains of the mantid and dumped it under Harry's canoe, so he needs help getting rid of that. So they show up in the morning, and when they find that Harry hasn't told Heather about his permanent human status, they say he's got to. He's like, no, as long as she remains in this guise, I can be with her, and everything will be fine. And then they get into a rather passionate embrace, kind of, but they're so odd because, they don't have a lot of human things normally, and a lot of the wordplay is just kind of bizarre and off-putting. And Bridget has developed a taste for her step siblings, which causes Harry to make her spit one out and then kick her out of the house for the moment. Well, they go off to enjoy their human lovemaking. Darcy calls Judy to help. Seems Judy used to work in a cemetery. And she's quite willing to dig a grave for them. She doesn't even want to know why. Doesn't even need to know why. And Judy, who has trouble buttoning up her jackets or blouses correctly, makes a perfect grave. 6 by 4 by 9. Didn't even measure it. One good thing she's good at. Well, after that's taken care of, Darcy and Ben are discussing the fact that Kate has had a memory of Darcy being on the spaceship moon base with her. And she comes to the obvious conclusion. Darcy must have had a baby stolen too. So they go to talk to her, but Ben's a little over anxious, as he usually is. And Darcy just kind of denies everything, doesn't know what they're talking about. And afterwards she goes and tells Harry and Asta. And they have to come up with a plan. Darcy just wants to tell them that the baby's safe, but Asta reminds her, look, if we tell them the baby's safe, when the aliens come down and question her with their floating orbs, she'll tell them that, and she'll tell them who told her, and then they'll come after her to get the baby back. So they cannot do this. Meanwhile, Liv has actually convinced Sheriff Mike, he needs to be completely open with his girlfriend Leah, the investigator from the next town over, or city over, which he does. And she doesn't believe him, and they have a fight. And Mike would have stormed off, except for the fact that Leah was the one who drove them to where they were walking. So they have to have a very silent, angry drive back. Now, Liv and her husband, who is a native, and also I believe he's the pilot for the rescue copter during the touristy snow season, they're going out to plant trail cameras so they can maybe catch a sight of this alien. Because Liv's the only one who hasn't seen an alien, and she's very disappointed in that. I mean, even her husband, he's seen the Loch Ness Monster. And the fact that she believed him is why he believes her about the aliens. There's also that legend we learned about last week, but that's not brought up. But anyways. Ben then goes to talk to Darcy at the bar after closing time. And it's just him. You know. He reminds her that she had suspected he was being abducted by aliens, and he was. And if she knows anything else, she really needs to tell him, because she's never dishonest. She's the most honest person he knows. And he goes into when they kissed at that party all those years ago, and how he always admired her bravery for just coming right out and telling him and acting on it, but he was too afraid of his own feelings and didn't, which is how he ended up falling in love and marrying Kate. Darcy did not get to be with him, but she lies, says she doesn't know anything. After he leaves, she calls Judy, who apparently was hanging out in the bar, passed out. She says, "You want to come over for a drink?" "Yeah, sure, I'll come over." And then she hangs up, looks around, goes, "Oh." And so they're going to get they're just going to get drunk and commiserate and all that. Well, Harry finally tells Heather the truth. And she asks him to marry her. I mean, she doesn't care he's only human. And in order to be with him, she would just remain in a human form. She loves him. So they agree to get married. And then she tells her parents. And her father shows up. Only he's like a little hawk. Only he's like a hawk. He's not like the full-size alien. And he attacks Harry, and they have a running battle throughout the house. And this makes Harry realize Heather deserves better. He can't love her as herself now because of the human form. She deserves someone who can love her in all her glory, who can satisfy all of her needs, not just the partial ones that humans have. And it's the right thing to do. And so she's heartbroken, but she agrees and leaves the next day. And Asta comes over to commiserate with Harry for doing the right thing. And he's not really liking this human stuff. He's lactose intolerant. His knowledge of human medicine is diminished because he has a lesser brain now. And he feels upset and sad a lot. He doesn't like that. It's just something you get used to as a human, Asta says. It'll get better. When? It takes time. Mike and Leah meet at the diner, and Mike contends it doesn't matter that she believes him or not. He still loves her. But he does warn her that what's going on out there in the woods is something really dangerous, and she needs to protect herself. And she's like, "Oh, you love me." He's like, "Did I say that?" "Yes." "Then it must be true." And so they kind of reconnect. The whole alien thing, they're going to look past that. Could have been, for a long time, he was thinking it was a hallucination. Maybe it was something brought on by stress, but that doesn't matter. They're going to make it work. And then we end with Kate in town. And the Girl Scouts are there selling cookies. So she buys some Thin Mints and some lemon. And the one Girl Scout goes, after she gives her back her change, goes, "Oh, this is also yours," and drops in the little crystal alien probe that she had removed from her neck. And she tells Kate, "We don't need this to track you. We can track you anywhere, anytime. We'll always be around." Ooh, what a creepy way to end it. Yeah, this was more comedy, with a lot of comedy in this. A lot of awkward comedy, like between Ben, Kate, and Darcy when they're trying to pump her for information without looking like they're pumping her for information. And this is all about relationships. Mike and Leah's working on theirs despite some of his problems. And Harry realizing the best thing is for Heather to take their children and raise them as aliens. That he can't give her what she needs anymore or deserves. And even Liv and her husband, you get to see how close their relationship is. So yeah, it's a really nice one with a lot of good humor and a nice little creepy ending. So that help us when we go into the next episode. I assume I didn't see the next time trailer, but all in all, really enjoyed it. It was a nice break from like the more heavier episodes that have been the last few. Well, please hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.